everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make 2 cards using the barn door stamp and thin cut set. So this is the set. It's got coordinating thin cuts to make the wood slats. I'm also going to use sending hugs and layered flowers. I'm going to use papers from As You Grow and some of the PML cards from As You Grow, and some toffee cardstock for the first card. Okay, so I have the barn door stamped, the large one, loaded into my MISTI, and I'm going to stamp on the light side of toffee with mocha ink. Okay, and the great thing about the MISTI is if your stamp misses a spot or two, you can re-ink it and pick up those extra spots. And there we go. Okay, and then I've loaded the other 2 wood plank stamps onto blocks, and I'm going to stamp them as well. So I'm going to stamp 1 of the long plank and 2 of the shorter ones. Okay. All right, I'll get my stamps cleaned up, and now I'm going to bring in my Big Shot, and I'm going to cut out these images with the coordinating thin cuts. So we'll run them through. So I'll show you the process for cutting out a few of the images. So this is the Sending Hugs sentiment, and I've got this piece of As You Grow paper. It's charcoal and it looks like wood grain. So I've got that cut out, and then I'll also cut later on 2 more of that Sending Hugs just with black cardstock so I can layer them. And this is a PML card. So I have this leaf image that I'm cutting, and then just a variety of papers from As You Grow. I'm going to cut out the layered flowers. I've chosen the 2 smaller flowers in this collection. And now I'm going to skip ahead. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff cut out, and then my 2 sets of the Sending Hugs sentiment in black cardstock. So I'll show you how I layer these. Just gives more definition to these small thin sentiments. So I've got some needle tip glue here. This is art glitter glue, and it comes with this metal needle tip, so you can get tiny dots of glue out. So I just dot the glue, and then I layer one sentiment on top of the other, and you kind of pinch them so that they can slide around and stack. Okay, so then I stacked the charcoal one as well, and I've also put together all of my layered flowers. All right, so now it's time to start building our card. I've got a base of this charcoal wood grain paper from As You Grow, and that's cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm just putting everything down with Tombow. And then I fussy cut this barn door image, and later on I'll keep it in the video for the next one. I'm just trimming around, following the edges of the pattern or the design. And now I'm just kind of laying everything out on my card because I'm not exactly sure if I want to do the Z style for the barn door or just use the 2 planks. So got everything kind of arranged the way I like it, and now I'm going to try it with the Z style and see. And I decided that it was a little too much happening below the Sending Hugs sentiment, so I'm just going to use the 2 planks at the top and the bottom. So it's a little hard to see in the video, but these 2 planks, they have designs in the wood, and there's like knots some little interest. And so I'm flipping the planks around just so that you can see that interesting part of the stamped image instead of it getting covered up with the flowers and other things that I'm putting on my card front. So I'm going to glue down my sentiment. Just adding dots of glue, just like when I stacked my layers of cardstock. We'll get that added to the front of the card. Just basic assembly here. Then I'm going to add these green leaves. It's kind of a sage color with a pattern. And then my layered florals. I'm going to add those with some thin foam tape. And then for the last step, I'm going to add some of these black dots from the black and white dots. These are the smallest ones. So instead of trying to find the dot for the eye, I'm going to use a black dot for that, and then the centers of my flowers. And there's my finished card. Here's some close-up shots. I think it turned out nice. This wood grain background is lots of fun to work with. Okay, let's make another card. So for this one, I'm going to use the heartfelt wreath and some papers from Sawyer and some mint cardstock and some wood grain papers. Okay, so I've got a piece of wood grain papers already loaded into my MISTI, and I'm going to stamp this large barn door image, also in mocha. And then I'm going to do the same thing as before and stamp the two short plank images and the one large plank, also in mocha. So I'm going with the grain of the design on the paper. And then just add some more interest with the stamp. And then I'm going to stamp two of the short ones. Same thing as before. This card, however, I'm going to go ahead and use that Z design. Okay, now I'm going to stamp the wreath on the light side of mint with Harbor ink. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp the sentiment Thinking of You on the patterned Sawyer paper. And at first I thought I was going to use Harbor, but then I changed my mind, so I'm going to stamp that in black. And the beauty of the clear stamps is that you can stamp over your image. So I'm going to use Versamark ink and stamp exactly over Thinking of You with Versamark. And then I'm going to heat emboss. I'm using some of this embossing powder from Nuvo. It's called Shimmering Pearl, and it's got kind of sparkles and pearlescent clear color to it. So it just gives that sentiment some pop. So I'm going to heat that up and melt the embossing powder. Looks very cool. I'll have some close-ups at the end so you can see it really does make a big difference to emboss your sentiment. Okay, so now I'm going to run everything through my Big Shot with the coordinating thin cuts. Get everything all cut out. So all of these supplies are currently available in my online store, and I'll make a list of everything with links in the description below. You can do some shopping. These supplies are available while supplies last or during the life of the catalog, which is January and February. and until the end of August for the products in the core catalog. So I'm going to run the wreath through with the coordinating, then cut, and then I've got these circle dies. And I'm going to cut out a circle around the Thinking of You so that I can layer that below the wreath. Okay. All right. And this is the fussy cutting. I'm going to speed this up super fast. It's just really simple. You could get very detailed and trim around each of those planks, but I just did a straight cut. Kept it simple. I want the attention to be on that wreath. Okay, so now I've got a piece of harbor, and that's going to be my base. So I'm cutting that at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it's the light side of harbor. Ran out of tape runner there, so got another one. Okay. So I'm going to attach that to my card front, and it's a regular A2 card that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'll add this wood plank or barn door. Now I'm going to set up the Z on this one. So I'm just going to add that long plank at a diagonal and then the 2 short ones over it. Just using tape runner. And then I'm going to add my sentiment using some thin foam tape. And then I'll add the wreath on top with some thin foam tape. Okay. All right, so now to add some color to the flowers and the leaves, I'm going to use a shimmer brush. Okay, so this is raspberry or wild berry shimmer brush, and then I'm using flamingo. So I'm just painting the image in. Super simple. I'm not doing a lot of detail. I'm just painting the flowers, getting some color on there. And then I'm going to use a mint shimmer brush to color in just a few of the leaves to give a little shimmer to them. Okay. And now I have some of these wood flowers. So I picked out 4 of the smallest ones, and I'm going to add them to the corners there using some glue dots. And then I'm going to paint them using a Harbor shimmer brush. Let's get some color on there as well. So you can still see the wood grain on them, but they're shimmery and colored. Pretty cool. And the last step, I'm going to add some bitty sparkles in the middle of all of these flowers. So the easiest way to apply them is just to slide them off the carrier sheet into the place where you want them to be. Just sliding them off. And there's my finished card. So cute. Lots of subtle detail and shimmer. So I appreciate you watching my video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And thanks for watching.